Last fall, Sansara and I had the extraordinary opportunity to interview Bob Avakian on the RNL Revolution Nothing Less show. Bob Avakian BA goes at so many different urgent questions, unrehearsed, with science, passion, and a whole lot of clarity. He breaks down and brings alive the problem that we face in the system we live under. That's at the root of all that we face, from the danger of nuclear war.
All this ridiculous stuff, people sticking their heads down, or, I stay in my own lane. You think if there's a nuclear war, it won't touch your lane?
To what this system does to black and brown youth.
The mass shooting of black people, Latinos, and Native Americans by police is way bigger than any individual. You have to think in big terms about how are we going to deal with these big problems that are way bigger than any individual.
The scope of these talks is nothing less than the whole world. Bob Avakian goes at these questions like nobody else. He speaks to and challenges the youth brought up in the vicious world who learn to mimic the big-time gangsters who run this country with tragic and heartbreaking consequences.
There's this whole notion that, if you aren't fucking over somebody else, you're weak. The choices are not being the fucker or being fucked over. The choices are being enslaved or emancipated.
He speaks of the import of beauty in the natural world and in art. Why to appreciate Shakespeare as well as art and literature from around the world?
The kind of world we're aiming for is not one where that kind of beauty is discounted or, suppressed, but one where the human being's need for that is given much fuller expression.
This comes alive in funny childhood and high school memories with deep lessons for today.
I consider one of the great things about Berkeley was that it only has one public high school. And so when you go to that public high school, you're thrown together with everybody.
Most of all, the interviews bring that we don't have to put up with any of this. A radically different and far better world through a real revolution to overthrow this system is possible. Speaking particularly of the heightened danger of nuclear war, BA says,
we can no longer afford to allow these imperialists to dominate the world and to determine the destiny of humanity. They need to be overthrown as quickly as possible.
By the time you get to the end of these 3 interviews, you feel this possibility, even if you never considered it before.